New modern age teasers, Civilization 7 gameplay insights, as well as some big new leaders and civs. It's time to jump into Civ 7. So welcome to the modern age, or a teaser for it at least. Of course, we have seen some stuff already, here and there, just little glimpses of the modern age in those initial trailers. In a new short, just released a day or two ago, they talk a little bit about the Exploration Age and how that leans into the modern.
This means you're going to want to be sailing up navigable rivers, where you can pillage, raid, as well as capture settlements built off of these rivers.
So obviously they start by talking about navigable rivers, a great addition to Civ 7. The crucial part here in this gameplay is that you can capture cities from them. They also talk a little bit more about those fleet commanders and how ships in the Exploration Age can be damaged at seas by deep ocean or natural disasters. And then it was time to tease the modern age.
As you then get into the modern age, it's going to be about making sure you have the resources to maintain such powerful new and advanced ships, as well as you're going to have to protect them from new threats from above.
And the new footage, very brief, here you can see it, largely focused around ships, of course, modern ships, there, and secondly here being struck by a plane. Obviously, the from above is reference to the modern age and the third element of combat that it will introduce after land and sea come the skies. And outside of those brief glimpses, as well as what you're looking at now, I've collected all of the modern age footage, this from the Nintendo Switch trailer from way back when, just to give a glimpse, a feeling of what we've seen and what we know so far. For now though, we have to park that for the Holy Roman Emperor himself. Charlemagne was revealed, King of the Franks. The leader, of course, you'll play through the whole game, militaristic and scientific in nature. And this big boy with his own big belly physics seemingly doesn't disappoint, though with some interesting pairings. That big belly comes from a love of celebrations, and he likes the leader who has triggered the most, those excess happiness events as a reminder. And this is particularly important. Extra happiness triggers a celebration. He likes leaders who have triggered them, and he's probably fairly good at triggering them himself. For if you're playing as Charlemagne throughout the whole game, your military and scientific buildings will receive a happiness adjacency for quarters. And this wonderful synergy continues as Charlemagne builds up extra happiness thanks to that adjacency and pumps it into free cavalry units, +2, once unlocked, when you enter a celebration, and also +5 combat strength for cavalry units, including those free ones, during said celebration. So extra happiness and horses seemingly are everything. And that got me thinking, what do we know about this age? So far, 9 civilizations. Who's the logical pairing? Obviously, maybe the Normans in the Exploration Age. It makes sense. Land units receive increased movement when embarked, and land units adjacent to coastline will receive even more strength. So maybe your cavalry, those fast-moving cavalry, could also be put to sea, potentially. I don't know. There's a unique cavalry here too, of course, the unique unit which has increased combat strength against units with less movement. And so there's extra movement synergies, horse synergies here. Though really, the Mongols need to enter the chat. For the Mongols, you may have noticed this time in the mid-right, are also in Exploration Age Civ, fairly recently revealed on the Civ website. The details look a little bit like this. Cavalry units within command radius have extra flanking thanks to their unique commander. They also have a unique ranged unit that counts as a cavalry and heals after defeating enemies. And when you create a cavalry unit, you'll gain culture equal to a percentage of its costs. You'll also notice a little bit more in the details that playing as the Mongols, you'll get some military victory points in the Second Age, a little easier than other civilizations. Thankfully, you can capture cities in your homeland to get those. Moving along from that wonderful Charlemagne announcement, there was another short, sneakily released this time about leader attributes. Firaxis have explained a little bit more about how these work and shared some new ones. They explain it fairly briefly, so I'll get you to just take a listen.
And where you're going to get various points through gameplay, whether it be through building wonders, unique narrative events, or the leader you are playing. Specific bonuses are going to be able to be invested into a wide array of gameplay systems, such as science, culture, military, economic, and more. As you gain these bonuses, you're going to be able to go into a ability tree and start unlocking various different abilities throughout that tree. This is going to progress with you from age to age and help tell a story of what your leader is doing and accomplishing throughout the game.
In a nutshell, use your extra points to upgrade your leader and hold it through the game. The new stuff we saw looking into the expansionist tree largely, people often think, oh, what's the difference between expansionist and militarist? Well, you can kind of see how it actually plays out in real terms here. It's about settlers, it's about towns, it's of course about peaceful growth. Speaking of peaceful growth, Jeepers Creepers, you did it. We are at almost record levels. Thank you for subscribing, for enjoying the Civ 7 content. We might just reach 100k by Civ 7 day at this rate. Let's get back to the news though. An interesting item coming to a smart fridge near you. No, it's not the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's in fact Civilization 6. I know, not Civ 7, but I thought it was worth a very quick mention here. This trailer recently released by none other than Netflix Games, where you can download Civilization 6 for free if you're scabbing off one of your friends and family's Netflix subscription like all of mine do, and you'll get the Platinum version, by the way. So a reasonable DLC offering there. Registering interest is already open with the game to release, I suppose, at some point soon. Seems like a good way to warm up for what could be the King of the Hill debut in Civilization 7. Another new leader was revealed this week, an economic expansionist, and if I don't say, probably the opposite approach that Charlemagne took this time around. Pachacuti, instead maybe more of an Ozempic vibe compared to previous renditions. It's been tough. However, this leader delivers some unprecedented power, and again, with a focus on mountains. Pachacuti likes leaders with the fewest mountains within their territory, and with a starting bonus to mountains, you should hopefully have the most. The synergy here should be obvious with a certain civilization. All buildings receive a food adjacency bonus from mountains, and specialists adjacent to mountains pay no happiness maintenance. That, by the way, is particularly important throughout the whole game. Specialists only consume, generally, food and happiness, and your ones won't consume happiness. That's pretty decent, and could help you build a massive empire. The synergies that I'm alluding to here also from a somewhat recently announced civilization, returning one more time to our Exploration Age chart, this time in the top right, of course. It's the Inca. How could it not be? The synergies are very obvious, but to just quickly recap them, because this detail is generally hidden often inside of the Firaxis Civilization 7 game guides, you can see that the terrace farm makes its triumphant return, an improvement that can be built only on rough tile adjacent to mountains, as well as some unique military and civilian units that like it rough. The unique ability, mountain tiles, can be worked, and you'll gain additional food and production on those mountains. So not only does the Inca Pachacuti combination like working next to mountains, but it can also just completely abuse them and their yields. Of course, building on top of what I consider to be a fan favorite, the terrace farm. So in the week that was, what did we learn? Well, the epic new leader Charlemagne, King of Franks and Holy Roman Emperor, was revealed in a big way. Military and science is his game, and he's a lover of feasts. Ship combat, a little bit more about the Exploration Age, as well as those very brief modern age teasers were highlighted, and some more detail about leader attributes in Civ 7, with some more insight into how the peaceful expansionizing might work. Finally, Civ 6 is coming to a Netflix subscription near you, and Pachacuti is here to deliver the mountainous hillside gameplay alongside the Incas. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.